Do you want to record another one with actual sound just in case it doesn't work?
No, I think it's fine. I think we got it.
Okay.
I think we got it. Welcome to the Falcon, babies. I'm your host, Clarky.
I'm Cassie.
Oh, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jess.
That's right. We double up on intros, and I'm going to use them both. The ASMR one is for the freaks. And just like all you footy freaks out there, let's enter the other side of that theme song.
Hey boys, play the footy.
Round 20 is in the books. There's 4 more weeks of football until we hit football Christmas, which is finals, I guess. Is that what I'm trying to say here? It's Christmas in July because Cass's team remains on top. Chris's team beat Richmond, and Jess and I live in poverty still.
We almost got the trifecta.
Speaking of
You're right, Chris.
Speaking of Christmas in July,
Yes,
have you seen the?
Do you feel like this is natural?
This is so natural. I was like, guys, we'll never be able to work this into conversation. This will never come up.
Get it in early.
Have you seen the KFC Christmas in July ads that are playing? I mean, it's almost the end of July. It might not be on much longer, but where they're singing, it's the Carol of Bells song, but it's with KFC food products. Zinger, 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 zinger burger.
If we go back about
I'm familiar
3
with
minutes
KFC.
if we go back about 3 minutes in time, no, I haven't seen this ad.
Right. Well, actually, that's my voice singing the top female part of that.
Well.
Yeah.
The poppies get even taller this week.
Yeah. So I'll play it. That's me. You can hear it's me, right?
Now you say it, I can definitely see.
Yeah.
So yeah, my friend makes jingles for commercials and asked if I would sing some bits for him. So if you've ever seen that ad while you're watching the football, you can go, hey, I know that voice.
How does one get a job doing the jingles?
He just makes music. That's what he does. He wrote one for Chico Roll, roll, the Chico Roll, and he's written one for 4 and 20 Pies. Last year, a few years ago, had one where they were like a choir, like a marching. Can't remember what the song was, but yeah, he's done a few. So when he makes the call, I say yes.
I do like how quickly you had that on hand to just go, here, I'll play it for you. And it was just like
Well,
you've done on speed dial.
I had it open to show you guys before we started recording, and it was still there.
So she's got it. It's like a shortcut on her phone. She just walks around the shops playing it. It's
guys,
a
have
bit
you
of
had this?
advertising KFC and for her.
My mum
Feel
messaged
like a
me through
singer?
the week, and she was like, I was playing Spotify for your nephew, and that song came on every 15 minutes on a Spotify ad. And I was like, did you tell him it was me? She's like, yeah, he didn't understand. He's like, why does she keep sending that? I don't know.
Summer.
Anyway, that's Christmas in July, guys. Think of me when you eat KFC.
I will be happy to. I'll be happy to think of you the next time I have a zinger burger. I always loved Carol of the Bells because I always think of there's that meme that comes back where they talk about how it's, the guy who's like, I've got this excellent Christmas, The Sopranos. You guys are going to absolutely love this one. Cut altos. What about us? Be fucking bells. Your bells.
Ding dong.
What are my lines, boss?
And in case you were wondering, for the KFC song, that's popcorn chicken. That's what they're singing instead of dinging donging.
Anyway, KFC sponsor.
This is incredible.
So while we're talking about food, Chris, you put in the notes something about Dwayne Russell's pre-game food ritual.
Yes. I believe
what the
he
fuck?
posts. So Dwayne Russell, I don't know why a Dwayne Russell video popped up on my Instagram feed. I don't know what's going on with my algorithm. But I believe he posted this a few weeks ago, and I was like, okay, I need to talk about this. So he was asked on Instagram, someone asked him a question. They said, what do you eat for dinner before commentating a night game? And I was like, The video popped up. I was like, yeah, this is an interesting question. Let's see what he says. I fucking hate Dwayne Russell, but we'll see what he says. His response was that his pre-game ritual, whether it's a day game or a night game, just any game, is that he eats a family block of caramello or peppermint chocolate, 2 or 3 twirls, and a Red Bull.
That absolutely
What?
cannot be true because he does not have teeth if that is true.
That's disgusting.
Is he at a 12-year-old's birthday party?
He very specifically kept pointing out that he kept mentioning fruit and nut, but then he's like, but you got to watch what you eat because you can't have fruit and nut because the nuts will get stuck in your teeth, and you got to have something that you can just very quickly just.
That's the crazy bit.
Yeah.
The fruit and nut might get caught.
He kept bringing this up, but it was like, no one mentioned fruit and nut. Why are you bringing this up? But yeah, he specifically said a family block, not a normal block. He said a family block of either caramello or peppermint, 2 or 3 twirls, and a can of Red Bull. That man's stomach must be screaming out for help.
And his wallet. Have you seen the price of family blocks? Christ.
That dude hasn't had a solid shit in years. There's absolutely no way. At least if he was like, oh, I had a pie in the break, I'll go grab a little hot dog in between.
We're right near the
orders.
corporate boxes, so we get some mini sausage rolls and pies. Perfect. Enjoy. An entire block of chocolate. Plus
Family.
2 more chocolates. Plus the Red Bull.
He can't mean like the family one. He can't.
He said family block, and in the picture that came up on the video, it was the big value size, the family block size.
What's a family block? Is it like 5 by 20 or something? 7 by 20?
Yeah, something like that. It's. I think if I remember right, it's like 2 regular blocks sort of side by side.
Yeah, basically.
Like essentially that's. He is right though. He has gone for liquid centers.
That's because he's 60 fucking 1.
He's gone for liquid centers to avoid that fruit and nut getting stuck in his teeth.
It's the Red Bull on top that just really is the cherry. Like just having basically 1.2 kilos of chocolate in your stomach and then just topping it off with a Red Bull.
I like to imagine the Red Bull is always last as well. Like it's not like during. He eats the entire
he just
chocolate
slams
and
it
then
at
he
the
just
end.
shotguns
Brushes it.
Imagine if he did like a Jaeger bomb, but with like he pulled the Red Bull and then dropped a couple of chocolate bombs in there and then scummed it back. One of the guys I work with, he was like, I had 5 coffees before 11 a.m. because he had to coach his son's football team. So he's like had 5 coffees and then a Red Bull. And he gave a little bit of Red Bull to his son as well. He's like, he played the best game he's ever played. And I was like, oh my God. My dad gave me some go-go juice.
Next time you're watching a game and Dwayne Russell is commentating, I hope that's all you think about.
It is.
He's probably in
about.
between plays, he's running to the toilet.
I mean, look, glass houses, Chris, because I believe famously on this show you have come around to the idea of bringing satay in your pockets to the football.
I literally haven't
Satay
been
in
able
my
to stop
pockets?
thinking about
What?
that ever since I listened to that 5th quarter. I was in the car with my mouth wide open being like, what the? I was like voice texting Josh going, did Chris just say he'd take a satay skewer in his fucking pocket? What's wrong with him?
I don't remember saying that, but sure, why not?
And Chris famously doesn't listen to the episode, so he's like, well,
No.
once he said it, he never remembers it again.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
We've got a lot of non-football game related stuff to go through quickly, so we'll just fly through. The Ken Oath trademarking for Tasmania ran into a little bit of trouble merely a day after being launched. Obviously, Ken Hinckley, we talked about last week, named as the coach of Tasmania. Good for him. They launched a campaign that had the Tasmanian state shape with the words Ken Oath in there. Already a brand. There was a surf brand, I believe, is it in Torquay? Somewhere like that. One of those surf towns.
Or maybe Byron.
Yeah, somewhere.
I think it was Byron.
Yeah, so the surf brand already had this trademark, and they were like, oh, we've got to take this down because this is copyrighted. Apparently, they worked out a deal with the brand to relaunch the Ken Oath clothing line. I felt like that was everyone made a big deal about it, and I thought, this is a pretty straightforward win to just go, hey, we want to release something that says Ken Oath. Work with us, or just give us your blessings. There's no downside anyway for this.
Take all the proceeds. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at their website because I wanted to see where they are and see what their logo looked like. And there's a little bit at the bottom, if you scroll all the way down on your phone and it's got all the contact us and blah, blah, blah. There's literally one bit that just says Ken Oath, trademark since 2008. And it's got a drop down, but it doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, did you just add this in the last week because people are coming to check your website? It looks like an afterthought. But they look, I don't know, chill. I reckon
Oh, they look
would
very
be,
chill. They look very cool and chill.
they'd be pretty cool to work with. I can't imagine they're going to be tricky about it.
Well, it's already resolved, so yeah, they weren't. You're right on the money,
Just like-
Jess. We
Well-
have also.
I've never heard of them, so they're obviously not that big and important.
Well, okay,
This
they haven't.
could be a launch into the spotlight for them.
They haven't been playing in the AFL yet, Jess, but Tasmania have had a year in the VFL, and just because they're a small-time team doesn't mean that you need to pretend you haven't heard of them, okay? They've been
I
everywhere.
don't recognise Tasmania as a planet.
Tasmania seceded from the mainland, and therefore they're on their own. The state of origin includes South Australia yet again on a 3-year contract. We've got 2027 will be South Australia and Western Australia in Perth. 2028 will be South Australia and Victoria in Adelaide. And then 2029 will be Victoria and WA in Perth. Weird to go with a 3-year fixture for state of origin, but sure.
Yes, a 3-year fixture, and then like one of the teams doesn't play one of the years, like including 3 teams, but one of them won't play for 1 year. It's like, oh, well,
You could
do
do
a
this
cute little
every
round
year in a
robin.
weekend.
Yeah.
It's a bit odd that the first game. So the first game was Vic versus WA this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
in Perth.
WA.
And
Yeah.
and then we're going to play again in a few years, and it's going to be in Perth again.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I would assume the point is to play football outside of Victoria.
Ooh.
Sounds like anti-Vic
Ah, you
bias to me.
Victorians.
I'm so sick of pandering to the other states. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Every
If you want to watch
time I turn
football,
around.
move here.
I just don't understand why they didn't make it 4 teams. Get Queensland involved and and do it in a weekend too.
Throw someone random in there. Have the NT.
Yep.
Put Tassie in.
Then it's not a state of origin then, I guess, if you want to be technical.
It's a
about it.
territory, yeah.
But I think it'd be more fun because there's a lot of good football happening in the NT. And you could just get local people who are probably just as good as some other players we've got.
And they would win they'd win everything.
Yeah. Like the wild card. Throw them in.
You should do a curtain raiser of the undrafteds.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all play for like a one list spot in the AFL. The winning team.
And make it a
everyone-
reality TV show. Oh wait, they did that.
Did they do that? Haven't they done that? I thought I was onto something here.
They did. It was called wasn't it called The Rookie? And it was
Yeah, it was
but
called The
They were
Rookie.
all quite
What
old.
with Nathan Fillion?
Different show.
Propaganda on my podcast.
It took me a second. I was like, Nathan Fillion, who did he play for?
Anytime, one of my favorite things about this show, and I love all of you individually, and
Great,
Jessie
thanks.
as well, because you've all brought such wonderful things to this show. I am constantly in awe of Chris being he's the footy mind of the podcast. Like, without a doubt, Chris has so much ball knowledge and he understands the game really well, and he's obviously been watching for a really long time. But then he just has these moments where I just have to picture Chris going through his mind palace into like a big filing cabinet where he's like, the rookie, Nathan Fillion. It's not under A for AFL. Where have I seen that?
I also find it funny that it's Chris's internet that's really slow. It's like it's not his internet that's buffering.
It's definitely not my brain.
It's reflective of the user.
And now do me, Clarky. What do you think about me?
I think you're a natural performer.
Great, thank you so much. Have you heard me
Uh,
sing
I'd actually be
10
interested
wicked
in hearing
boneless
what-
pieces and Pepsi, potato and gravy? Anyway,
If
thank you so
anything,
much.
it upsets me because you haven't offered to sing more jingles for the show.
Anytime you need, just let me know.
Yeah. But, well, hey, we've been screaming for a 5th quarter jingle.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the contacts, Cass. Why aren't you hooking us up with
All right,
some people?
I'll message Terry. I'll see what he's got.
Terry, is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Terry, if you're listening, big fan. Big fan.
Jerry's not listening. He's got bigger fish to fry.
I don't think he follows AFL.
Bigger wings. Right.
So we've also got here, SEN have released a list of the most underrated players at each club. And I thought this would be good to have a little chat around. We kind of went through, there's some really interesting names in here. Sam Berry for Adelaide. Yep, sure. Like, that's fine. He's great. Is he the most underrated at Adelaide? That's up in the air. The only thing that bothers me is that this is inspired by an AI segment. So I believe that they've used AI to do this, which is the worst way to do something that is literally just your opinion.
Why the fuck is Adam Simpson just using... I know that he owns like 20 Hungry Jack's restaurants, but what else is he doing with his time?
Like, isn't he commentating sometimes?
Only
Nah.
WA. So once a week.
He just does the media stuff. So like he appears on Fox Footy and I don't know, some other shows that I don't watch.
So I think that there's a few interesting names in here, and we could probably argue with them, but I want to get your guys' opinions on your clubs. So we'll alphabetically. Cass, they suggest Carl Warner and Sam Switkowski are the two underrated players for Fremantle.
My question to you is, do you know who Carl Warner is? Could you pick him in a lineup?
Yes.
No.
Okay, Chris, you're the football brain, Chris.
Shut up, Chris.
I'd have a good crack.
I know that he's blonde.
Yes, and he came in a very similar time to Corey Wagner, and they're both blonde, and they're both kind of a similar build, and their names are both KW, and it's very. You go Corey, go Carl.
No.
Oh, Warner, no Wagner. It's very hard when they're both playing. But we were just having a chat, my friends and I, the Freo supporters, in our chat on the weekend, being like, and I think the commentator said it, but he's our most improved player of the year. He is just like, you can just see that he has put in so much work and he's just so impressive now. Anytime he gets the ball lately, we've just been like, yeah, go Carl. Also, his name is Carl. Isn't that cute?
Carl with a
Yeah, I
K.
like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually agree with that. I don't agree with Sam Switkowski. I think.
What do you got against Sammy?
I might think maybe he's a bit overrated and he's not even that rated. Also, I put a tweet up that was, the commentators always struggle with his name. They put in so many extra letters, Switkowskis, and I was like, surely Switkowski is not that hard to say. And then someone commented, I bet you don't even know how to say it properly. And I was like, okay. It's apparently Svitkowski. And I was like, yeah, well, come on. It's Sam Switkowski.
I would not have picked that was how that name is pronounced.
I believe we have a very, very long ago on the Footy Mailbag, we had an intro that was done for us by Sam Switkowski.
Oh,
I
great.
think he introduces himself as Sam Switkowski. So,
Yeah.
He's embraced it. I think that's okay for him.
Yeah.
What about Chris, Jess, do you agree? Do you think Carl Warner, the guy that you've never heard of, Chris, you have heard of, do you think that this is the most underrated player for Freo? We're taking outside opinions, Cass.
He seems to have just jumped up this year and come out of nowhere, where I was kind of like, this guy's doing quite well. So yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Jess is just shaking her head.
Yeah.
Great, yeah.
She's like, add another guy. I agree.
I guess. I know that he plays for Freo. That's the extent of it. Good for him if he's doing well. Shame that he's not being clapped more.
My personal underrated player for Freo is I love Michael Frederick. I love him so much. Every time I see him, he just has really good work rate. And I think I appreciate that the most rather than just stats. I mean, looking at his stats, average for disposals, below average for handballs, average for tackles, but above average in kicks, marks, and goals. So,
And above average in backflips, which he hasn't done in a long time, but I really want him to do a backflip again.
He's saving it for the grand final.
That's what Pete said on the weekend. That's what my husband said.
This feels like a school report. Above average for this, average, not so
He's a
average
conscientious
for this.
worker. I really like Freddie. He's really fast. He's really crafty, but he does sometimes make some he made a very silly mistake on the weekend where he was marked it at the top of the square and then was like, I'll just fucking play on, and missed everything. So that's a bit embarrassing. Like if you'd just gone back and taken the shot, you would have got a goal. So little things like that, but he's very good otherwise.
Yeah.
Maybe underrated, you might say.
Some would say that. For Melbourne, we have the most underrated player listed as Blake Howes. I think this is a really okay call out. I love Housey. He's really good and he's filled a gap that has been a need. He's still quite young. I'm not sure that I would say he's the most underrated, though. He's just sort of someone that they don't talk about a lot. I don't know whether... I was kind of hoping someone would offer an opposing opinion, but that's fine. I'll just keep going. I feel like for this year in particular, I think it's actually been very unappreciated how much work Harry Sharp has done for this team. And this is the thing, right, where do you determine what is underrated, overrated, or appropriately rated? Is underrated just somebody that, you don't think about and they play the game well? Like, I don't think that's necessarily the definition of underrated, because Harry Sharp, he racks up a few disposals and he's, always around. You hear his name called on the football calls, but I think the actual work that he does, he's kind of really replaced Alex Neil-Bullen, which I thought was going to be a really hard thing to do. But he's that guy who is super capable as running through as a midfielder, as a winger. He's got pace, he's got work rate, and he's also good. He's an absolute danger around the goals as well. Like, you can literally place him anywhere, and he's a really fantastic offensive weapon. And two-way running is such a huge thing. With Ed Langdon as well getting on in years, we kind of needed pace to sort of help him just continue to track the distance that he tracks. And Sharpie's always up there for that. And I don't think that gets nearly enough kudos for a team that, at the moment, the most attractive thing about Melbourne is our offensive ability.
Would you say Tom Sparrow is... I mean, I see his name
He's
a lot.
overrated until he signs that contract. The second he re-signs with Melbourne, underrated.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I see his name on the stats a lot, but I don't hear his name.
He's
in the
emerging
mix.
this year.
Yeah.
So he's been in a bit of no man's land behind Petrarca and Oliver and Viney as well. This year is like a year where he's pretty much, after Jack Steele, the next most senior midfielder, really. It's like Steele, then Sparrow, maybe Rivers when he runs through there, and obviously Cozzy's been in the system for a while, but Sparrow's has been a dedicated mid for a really long time now. So this is why we probably need him as a piece going forward, and getting him to re-sign with us would be a really big deal, is that this is like his emergent year.
I have two players from Melbourne that I actually think are quite underrated. One I mentioned earlier in the season, Cade Chandler.
Love him.
I think he's very important for the team. The other one is becoming one of my favourite non-Bulldogs players, and that's Jake Bowie. I just don't see enough people talk about how good he is.
It's interesting to hear that, because I think Jess and I are in the circle, so we hear he gets a lot of love from the Melbourne fans. So it's interesting to get that external perspective, I think, because he's fantastic, and he's just such a key player, and that kind of arose once again through need. Like, he filled a gap that we needed at the time and then made it his own, and now we are useless without him. Like, we haven't had Christian Salem for, God, it feels like 3 months now.
It's been about 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. Sailor's playing back through the VFL, and to be quite honest, Jake Bowie's doing the job better than Salem was doing when he was playing. So, neither here nor there. But I do love the Cade Chandler goal. He also has the cutest baby in the AFL.
He's very cute. I didn't really I didn't really think about Bowie before this year, and now I think he's really stepped up. He had moments of greatness before, but he also had really off weeks. But now I feel like he's really, maybe it's the Stephen King effect. He's really come into his own, and I think it's happened for a lot of them though. Like, I really love Jefferson, and I didn't really know who he was before this year. And he's just become one of my favourite Melbourne players. Like, I feel like he's always there getting stuck in. He's always marking it. He's not the most accurate, but he's always giving 110%. And he just looks real cute as well, like a little mouse. Like, he looks like he'd be real friendly if you met him in a coffee shop, and he'd be a bit shy.
They were about to say, if you met him as a mouse, if you just met him in the forest.
I just love this alternate universe where Jess is just constantly meeting football players in coffee shops, and one of them's going to punch her in the face, and the other one is a mouse.
This is how I gauge things. The coffee shops are the only place that I would ever meet people.
Chris, the most underrated player for the Western Bulldogs is Bailey Williams. How does that make you feel?
I think it's probably a decent call. Like, he's not like, he doesn't get a super high amount of fanfare from fans internally. He does an important job. Yeah, I think it's probably a good call. He's a bit inconsistent. That's his worst trait. The other player that I would probably say that I personally think is underrated, but he's become a bit of a whipping boy, is Riley West, and that's because he does some really good defensive things for a small forward. Yes, he doesn't always kick bags of goals, but he does some really important defensive work as a small forward.
Chris, I absolutely shit you not. I'm looking at the Bulldogs list now, and Riley West was exactly the guy I was going to bring up.
There we go.
He is so good in your forward line, and I think it kind of like I was talking about with like Harry Sharp, where he's just such an interesting weapon for you guys to have. He doesn't need to be the star, but he's just always dangerous. He's good with the ball. He's good with pressure. He's good at scoring when you need him to as well. It's those kinds of acts are just something that they make you feel really good when they come through as well when you're watching a game, and he pops up and he kicks one in an important moment, or he just sort of takes charge in his moment. Any other submissions for the for the council?
I feel like the Bulldogs are a team that, like, when I look through their list, I'm like, yeah, I like that guy, I like that guy. Like there's so many, but there's this little like up and coming like newbie. I don't know how long he's been playing. Marcus Bontempelli. I think he is completely underrated.
Bontempelli. It's like an
I think
Italian
he
name?
might maybe Italian.
Yeah. Are they allowed to play
cool.
AFL?
Yeah, it'd be cute to watch his career and see how he goes. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Italians. They're more of like a Euro.
They like
football.
soccer. Yeah.
Euro football kind of thing. I don't know if he can handle an oval.
Yeah.
Anything? Any whipped cream on top of this weird segment?
No, I was underwhelmed by Melbourne's one because I was like, doesn't really feel like they've actually watched any Melbourne games. I'm making those calls. I don't know. Like, Howes probably isn't the person I would have gravitated to, but the other ones I can get behind. I feel like I paid more attention to everyone else because I'm less critical.
The best thing about this, Jess, is that it's an opinion, and this isn't us saying that these people that they've listed are bad football players. This is us saying, hey, I like this guy.
Or even, it's not even us saying that the person they listed is the only answer,
Yeah.
That's somebody else's opinion.
Yeah, so your opinion is valid. And hey, listeners at home, let us know. Hey, get in the comments on Spotify. Who do you think is the most underrated player at your club? Tell us why. Send us a message on Twitter. Why not? Let's get to the round of games. Let's get to the Melbourne and Geelong game, where Melbourne lost to the Cats by 20 points at the MCG, marking our first loss at the G this year. Jess and I were at the Acuna Christmas in July night market instead of watching this game. And then we got home, looked at the box score and maybe not for us. And that, my dear listeners, is how you take care of your mental health.
Should we move on to the next game then?
Yeah, look, I looked at the stats afterwards, and it just seemed like it wasn't our night. We let them get ahead, and then we made it too much work for us to catch up. And every time I would watch, like, I'd see, because I kind of just watched the alerts come through, like, without watching the game. And I was kind of like, oh, Melbourne kick one back, and then we're within two goals, and then Geelong would kick one back, and then it's back out to and it kind of felt like that. So very even early on, and then they got too far ahead, and there's not much you can do about that. I've seen some people be critical of Cozzy getting tagged out by O'Shea Mullen, and I hate that because I feel like people wouldn't ask that question of a lot of other midfielders, but apparently Jack Steele's getting interviewed on the radio going like, did Cozzy do enough to really break the tag? And I'm like, why is this being asked of him? And then I believe 3AW used the headline as well that Jack Steele says Cozzy needs to be a better leader. And
I saw that as well.
Yeah.
That made me so fucking angry.
Yeah. Step 1, fuck you. Step 2, what Jack Steele actually said was, there's more that we can do for Cozzy, but he also needs to work through and learn to break through in games. So he was like, this is a team thing, but also, it's a him thing that we can help him build. This is, And there's some horrific umpiring calls I've seen from this one. Particularly, I saw a non-holding the ball get called on Tom Stewart after Colton Tolstra ran him down after he ran 30 meters, had 2 bounces. Colton tackles him, Stewart doesn't handball the ball, it just drops it, and absolutely no call, to the point where every player stopped except for Bailey Smith, who picks up the ball and starts running towards the Geelong goal, which was enough to tell me that I didn't need to watch the rest of this game. It's sad we are still in contention, but we probably have some more difficult games ahead of us that we kind of needed another win against the big club. So we've got Freo in 2 weeks. We've got Gold Coast at People's First this week, which, even though Gold Coast are in a slump, I think is going to be a lot harder than we think it is, depending on which Melbourne turns up. And
it's hard because we had injuries, though. There's like, when you look at the list, there's like 3 outs for us from this game. Like, that's not
who are they?
conducive to winning. Chandler,
Fritz,
Pickett,
Chandler, and Pickett.
and Fritz.
Yeah, I think
I know
Latrell Pickett
had
got
a HIA thing going on, which
he
is
got
good.
an elbow from Lawson Humphreys.
Yeah,
And Aaron, it wasn't intentional, but it was bad enough that Latrell was carried off the ground.
and like, I mean, I said good. I mean good that he went off and not that he pushed through and played. But like, that's, 3 of our team off is going to be detrimental to our cohesion together and everything.
Yeah,
I don't know. This week's going to be a big test for us, I think, to see if we can rally and fix our shit. I mean, and Geelong are not a bad team either. Like, it's not like we lost to Essendon or someone, which has happened this year. Like, I feel like we were in contention. We just couldn't quite get all of the little bits that needed to go our way right. And then I think I saw some horrendous turnover stats and stuff that just stuff that really needs to be worked on and fixed this week. But, we'll see how they sort themselves out. They've got a bigger break this week. I think Geelong had a bigger break, and the issue was the 5-day turnaround for us, and that's what everybody was upset about. So hopefully this week we can reset everything and regroup. It's only a game.
Cascos, did either of you guys watch this one?
My game was on at the same time, so I did not
Yes,
watch your
that's
game.
right.
Gross.
It was.
We watched your game instead, actually, Cass. So
Okay.
we have more to say about that.
Yeah, the last half.
Chris, which game did you watch? Which of your friends did you support?
I honestly can't remember.
Oh, yeah, convenient.
His
I
internet is
think-
buffering.
He's back in the Mind Palace, guys.
His brain is buffering.
I
He's
think
opened
I
up the door
watched-
that says Friday night.
I think I watched this game, but I don't recall watching it. I have
Anyway,
no
that's
idea.
been the
Time to go
Falcon.
at home.
That is my analysis of the game.
All
Well,
right, moving
very
on.
good.
Well, yeah, let's move on to the
let's
doubleheader
head over
for
to
Friday.
Perth.
So, because of course reasons, the Fremantle and Eagles game, the Western Derby, was being
No. Try again.
The Western Derby
Try
was
it
being
again.
played at the
No.
same time as
No,
the
try it
Melbourne
again.
Geelong
Try it
Friday
again.
night game. Freo won by 70 points, shocking absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
West Coast, boo. Come on,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, look, it was closer than any Freo fan would like in the first half, but also not surprising for a derby. Clarkey pronounced derby.
Derby.
When we get to the GWS Sydney game, you can call it a derby. It was a bit closer than we would have liked at the start, but also, as I was saying last week, you kind of just go, yeah, we're going to win this. So when we came back, we kicked 5 goals, 10 in the first half, and then went on to kick 11 goals in the second half. So we kicked 11 goals to their 1 in the second half, which was lovely. So it was a bit of an inaccurate game again. We ended up with 16-16, which is kind of just the most come on. Imagine if that was, I'm not going to try and do some maths. I was going to take some number off one side and add it to the other, and then I can't do maths that quickly. But imagine even half. So if
Yeah.
I take 8 off that side and put 8 onto the 60,
Another
that's-
48 points, Ken.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a
well, but
lot. Can you
less.
imagine? We really just wanted to
Less 8.
down
So
them.
40 more points.
That would have been
Would have been
lovely.
152. That would have
Oh.
been nice.
Amazing.
It's a good buffer. Just because you don't have enough points at the top of the table. You've got to be
I know.
careful up there.
We need a bit more percentage. We just need to keep an eye on
Yeah.
that percentage. But yeah, so Murphy Reid ended up with the Glendinning Allen medal, which I think was a bit of because Caleb Sarong normally just give it to Caleb Sarong. So it was nice to see Murphy Reid win it. And in footy news today, he has just signed on until 2032 at the Dockers.
Yeah.
Big
Which
signature.
doesn't-
to
I'm-
get.
Feels long, needs to be longer, not long enough. I said 2050, lock him down.
Nice.
2050.
That's
Sorry,
2050.
it just clicked in
That's
my
a good
head.
get.
Like 2050.
You're like, what year is
Hmm.
this? He could still be playing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's anything
he's
like
only
that,
12, isn't he?
Yes. So, like, I think I mentioned earlier, he bought a house in Freo very recently, like a $2 million house. So he probably knew this contract was coming. He's like, yeah, I don't even need a mortgage. I'll just give
the
them my
rates
contract.
down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Prolific game from Marcus Herbert on the other side of the fence. Sorry to not talk about
I don't know who
Freo.
that is.
You wouldn't. 36 disposals for the mid-season draftee. He was probably one of the few shining lights for a struggling West Coast team, but it seems like all three of their midfielders were doing most of the work. So Herbert, Tim Kelly, and Harley Reid with 30 plus disposals each, and kind of all for naught.
I've never seen this man before in my life, but he could play Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. That is a strong jaw. Sorry,
wrong
we can talk about
profession.
football if you want, but that is.
He actually looks a bit like you, darling, if you were a bit younger.
Oh, he's even got the same moustache, Clarky.
Moustache, yeah.
Huh.
And the
And the
curly
headband.
locks. Strong eyebrows, too.
He doesn't know how to take that. Thank you.
Yeah, no one fucks like Gaston, they say.
No, I don't think they say that.
Yeah, it's in the song.
That's just you.
Nope, that's you.
Isn't that what is it LeFou? Is that his friend's name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that what he sings about?
Nope, that's not what he sings about. It is a children's movie. I don't know what version you've been watching.
Authentic.
I recalled what I watched on Friday night.
Was it a movie? Was it Beauty and the
Was it
Beast?
not football?
So I watched the first quarter of Melbourne Geelong, and then for some reason put a movie on. That's why I can't recall.
So
movie?
you're the reason we
Watching
lost.
the
I believe we
football.
were in front in the first quarter, so you turned
Maybe.
it off and everything went to shit, is what I'm hearing.
Maybe. I can't remember.
What movie did you watch, Chris? He's back in the palace.
No one fucks like Gaston.
No one fucks like Gaston. Oh, you
Stop
think
it.
that's your wife? No, she's mine. I'm Gaston.
That's it. That's
No,
the
I-
lyric. You got it.
I turned the footy off to just randomly decide to attempt to watch the new scary movie. So, yeah.
Okay. And
Chris
was
hates
it
football.
just as bad as you thought it would be?
It was
As the
actually
Melbourne game, yes.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was still pretty bad, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Speaking of good, though,
Yeah,
so
speaking of
Jai
football,
Amos kicked 5 more goals this week, and he's actually sitting in third for the Coleman, so that's pretty cool.
I came
And I
out of nowhere because I felt like
Yeah.
there was a period of weeks where I watched him and he kicked like 0-5.
Yeah, he used to
Mm.
miss a lot, and
Hey.
now he's in the running, and it's quite nice to have Jai Amos, Josh Tracy, Pat Voss, Dunkley's not ours, so sorry, Dudley. There's quite a few of them that have kicked a lot of goals this year, which is really nice. Like, we just had a lot of years of no solid forwards, or maybe just one forward.
Think back to the days when Matt Taberner was your full forward.
Mm-hmm. Think of those days. I'd rather not.
I'd rather not. This is another win for Freo, and it feels like I don't have much more to say other than that.
Yeah, I do love that. I assume it was Jess wrote in the notes, why are they booing Pierce?
Oh, yeah, I left that note
Yeah,
in
because
there.
they were booing him every time. And
No,
then
no,
I was like, oh, it's his nickname, right? Yeah.
They're saying Moose.
Too many people called
Yeah.
Moose
Yeah.
and Roo.
Yeah. What? I made that exact that comment that you
Yeah.
wrote. I made it out loud.
Felt
Why
weird
are they booing that nice man with the long hair?
that man who sold me the bone broth.
Anyway, yes, and then next week we have... Who do we have next week, Chris?
I believe that you have
Not
the
going.
Bulldogs on Friday night
And
in Perth.
Falcon Derby.
Mm.
Actually, we can call this one a derby.
Best read in the West. We've already covered that. We've got that's right. The bone that we have to pick. Take your time. Take a breath. Slow down.
Oh.
Do your speeches
And
slow.
do you know what I hate?
Sing your
I
song
hate-
slower.
I hate when a player wins a medal and takes it off the second he walks away, because, it's about the team. It's not about the individual. Got to take the medal off. Couldn't possibly. And then when they had the team photo, because I almost said Harley, because Murphy wasn't wearing his medal, he was just holding it. Pat Voss took it off him and he put it on. So for the team photo of them being like celebrating that they won the Derby, Pat Voss is actually wearing the Glendinning Allen medal. You're being like, yeah.
Okay, that's very good. I like that. That's funny.
But yeah, I'm just like, enjoy your accolades, enjoy your win. And yeah, don't rush the speech. Thank the fans. I just thank the fans, thanks this, and thanks everyone for coming. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks guys for a good one. Was it a good one? Because you won by 70 points. Seems like it was a pretty bad one for them. I would actually love for Murphy to come out there like, yeah, thanks for stinking up the stadium, boys. And takes his medal off and throws it in the dirt.
That does sound like him, actually. If there's anything I've learned about Murphy Reid, he's
he
a
sounds
jerk.
like a 60-year-old gangster, and he is a bully. Well, speaking of being bullied, the Western Bulldogs beat Richmond by 67 points, which isn't quite as good as 70 points, you might note. But I also kind of, this one was on in the background, and the only thing that really caught my attention is when the Fox Footy channel broadcast went out, and it was just like, we'll resume services. And the only feed that they had left was the Hindi broadcast that was being simulcast on like 503 or whatever the other football channel is. So they had to play the Hindi broadcast for about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. People lost their fucking minds because of course they did. Like, what the, like, literally every cooker in the planet coming out and going, what happened to football? What's going on here? And loads of people just went, oh yeah, like they lost feed and they put the Hindi broadcast on. Why is there a Hindi broadcast? Like, well, you watch the English one, and people who want to watch it in Hindi watch the Hindi broadcast. What?
Yeah.
This isn't for you.
It's not for you. If you don't understand it, it's not for you.
They want, and this is the funny thing, and I hate to get political on this show because we never get political. Fucking listen, cookers. You want people who immigrate to this country to absorb and participate in Australian culture, and then you get mad that we broadcast out one of our national games in their language so that they can get involved and enjoy the sport of Australia. It's the
You're
most,
missing the point.
you're just a fucking
They have
racist.
to watch it in English, obviously, and they have to be white to watch football. You're missing it entirely.
It's funny, and these people drop their own pants. So make sure, tell them to get fucked. Chris, how you feel about this win?
There were no winners in this game.
Whoa, let's.
Except people who speak Hindi.
It was a weird game to watch. We didn't play well, but still won by 57. It was weird. It was just like we won by default because Richmond was so bad. That was how it felt.
Well, Chris, before you go slandering son of the show, Josh Dolan, let's have a check-in on our little baby boy.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man.
He had
How
the
did he
best
do
game of
this
his
week?
career so far.
Oh,
Josh Dolan
so
with
proud.
14 disposals, 1 goal, 79 AFL fantasy points, 274 meters, gained 72% time on ground. Late 5 tackles. Hey, our boy's working hard, and Josh, we're proud of you.
I think
Hey,
he
son,
may have
we're
actually
proud.
gone down into the back line at points, which he's a small forward, a very small forward. I believe is the
177
correct
centimeters
term.
because he's just a little boy, Chris.
Yeah, so I think it's at some points he went down and helped down in the back line. That probably was the one good thing that came out of this game was Dolan had a really good game. Michael Selwood had another really good game. Buslinger has had 2 back-to-back good games. So there was some really positive signs from some of the young players. Fraser finally bounced back a little bit. Was originally supposed to be dropped, I think. Or was that last week? No, it was last week. So yeah, some of the younger players had good games, but apart from that, it was a shit one to watch.
No, but real talk. Can you honestly say to me that you don't look at the name Buslinger and think butt liquor?
I hadn't
Ever?
before now, but I will every time now.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Also, back not talking about butt liquor, but back thinking about Josh Dolan. Now I have Cats in the Cradle in my head.
I would like to say we had something to do with that. I would like to imagine that he was listening last week.
I was like, I got to make my parents proud.
Well,
yeah.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
I
The
can't
little
imagine
boy blue and the man and the moon.
I can't imagine that there's anything more powerful than having 6 parents.
It's a flex.
It
It's a
is
real
it
flex.
is really a flex. As somebody who only has 1 left,
Yeah.
it's
Aw,
having 6 is a flex.
do
Powers
that.
you up.
Yeah.
What else powers you up? Is it Collingwood being Adelaide? Because that doesn't power me up.
Doesn't affect me in the slightest. But you know who it does
Pretty good
affect?
for us.
Do you know who it does affect? Tex Walker's son. He really, thank goodness he got to celebrate that game with his favourite player, Nick Dacos.
It's still very funny for him to kick 700 goals, and his son was probably still thinking,
Wearing
I
black
get
and
to see
white.
Nick today.
Yeah, there's a picture of them. They caught up for coffee like before the game. Him and the family all went out for a cup of coffee at a cafe, and then he went into the rooms afterwards.
I'm literally watching the video of him in the rooms as we speak, and that's amazing. Because Nick is totally in it, and I don't know, like, can you, obviously we've established you can just become someone's father.
Yeah,
You
I
can
mean
just
we did
become
it.
You can just become someone's parent. So
Yeah.
Nick's not too far from that, I think.
I love that he's like, Mum, why did you pick Tex Walker when you could have picked
Yeah.
Nick Dacos?
Because
Nick Dacos is
Nick Dacos is
literally
12.
Yeah, Nick Dacos is actually young enough to also be my son's son. Tex Walker kicked his 700th goal in a loss, and that's very good because they held him back last week so that he would kick his 700th at Adelaide Oval, and then to lose by 30 points is kind of funny. One thing we don't have to talk about this, but I think we want to talk about this, is that Adelaide fans still booing Isaac Quaynor is absolutely diabolical.
Mm.
So, look, you listen to this, you probably know the football law, but for those of you who maybe don't, Isaac Rankin was charged with using a homophobic slur on field in the game last year against Collingwood, which I believe was around 23, 24?
23, I think.
23. Isaac Rankin, look, for all intents and purposes, I'm still not a fan, but I do believe people when I say and hear the amount of work that he has done to be a better person and to learn from his mistake. I completely agree with that. I think that's what all people should have the opportunity to do. So my beef isn't with him. However, during that time, it was suspected that Isaac Quaynor was the whistleblower or the person who was directed at, depending on which accounts you believe and you don't believe. And the reality is we'll never know. Adelaide fans have taken this to heart and are still booing Isaac Quaynor for blowing the whistle on Isaac Rankin doing something that he shouldn't have done. This is awful behavior. It is just football and being a good human. I don't like punishing whistleblowers is like the weirdest thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, like if Collingwood fans were booing Isaac Rankin, you're kind of like, okay, like you get it. I mean, booing generally is still not great. We don't love it, but you boo the perpetrator, not the victim. Someone compared it to, well, Tex Walker still gets booed all the time. It's like, well, no, Tex Walker was the perpetrator. He made the racist comments.
There's a difference between the way that we treat perpetrators and the way that we treat victims, and it should all be respectful. It's not hard. One of the biggest disappointments I think that's come out of this is that Adelaide then released one of the most milquetoast statements that I've ever seen in my life. That was essentially, please don't do that. And this is exactly the problem that we had with the Adelaide Football Club at the time, where they didn't take a strong enough stand to condemn the action, because I don't blame them for standing by Isaac Rankin, because what he did was bad but not irredeemable. But also, you can still condemn the action. You can still take action to prevent people from doing things, and you can still be more firm in telling your supporter base to not do it. Like, don't do it at all. We don't stand for that. That's not what this football club is about. If you think that that's what this football club is about, you are wrong. Because if you lose fans over that, you're actually losing the worst sections of your fans. And I have been very clear about this before. If it happened to Max Gawn tomorrow, he would be dead. Because that's not the culture that I want to support. And that's not a team that I want to support.
No, good Clarky soapbox moment. I like it.
Yeah. Is that my thing? Am I soapbox guy?
Yeah, the soapbox guy.
Yeah.
I'll make a sting for you. I'll make a theme
Thanks.
song,
Yeah.
a jingle. I'll call Terry.
Get him on speed dial. Hello, Terry.
I am actually, speaking about the football of it all, I am really frustrated that Collingwood seem to keep on winning every time. I'm like, they're finally coming up a team and I'll get to see Collingwood lose this week. Nope. Adelaide have been on a tear and got absolutely dismantled by Collingwood.
Yeah,
Which didn't look
they're
like it was
working
gonna
their way
happen.
back up.
I thought it was going to be closer than it was, but like Collingwood just ran away with it in the end. They just absolutely steamrolled them. Like Adelaide looked absolutely flattened by the end of it, which low-key funny for Tex. Haha.
So Collingwood have Geelong, is it Thursday this week? That was a hard one to tip because, Collingwood are like you said, they're on a bit of a they're 5 in a row, 6 in a row. They're
like the cockroach of the AFL. You just cannot get rid of them. You
Them
spray them with all
versus-
kinds of shapes, crush their heads. They're still fucking there kicking goals.
Crush their heads.
Them versus Geelong this week is basically the Cockroach Cup. Neither team will
Yeah.
fuck off.
The Cockroach
Cucaracha.
Cup is it at Cardinia Park?
No, it's at the G.
Oh,
La Cucaracha Cup.
boo. Copa Cucaracha.
Yeah.
Right, darling.
Copa Cucaracha. I like that. That's good. Trademark. Someone trademark that. Someone do the paperwork.
Check. Oh, there's a bikini company
Yeah.
on the
In
Gold
Brazil.
Coast. No.
Oh, no. Speaking of the Gold Coast, Cass,
Oh,
they've now
no.
lost 9 in a row.
Right?
And to Carlton.
Coach Watch.
Yeah, Coach Watch. I don't know, man. This one actually felt like it wasn't as bad of a loss, though.
No.
I feel
I
like watching
was
the game, they were in it a bit more.
I was the only person in my work tipping comp that tipped Gold Coast because I was like, surely they can't lose 9 in a row. And if they're going to lose, they're going to win to anyone. It's going to be Carlton. Like, that's the funniest thing if Carlton is the one to lose to them. Unfortunately, I was the only one that was wrong in the tipping comp. But look, yeah, I don't know, guys. What's happening? Okay, sorry, I can't get my thoughts straight because this team doesn't make sense. But actually, is there talk about Dimmer being on coach watch with anybody else except us? Vossi lost 5 in a row and everyone was like, get rid of him. This is 9.
Vossi did it multiple years in a row, though.
Yeah, true.
Dimmer has
What,
a
so
little bit of
you
grace.
reckon that
They-
Gold
I
Coast
mean,
last year, that was enough to keep Dimmer afloat this year? He's got 1 year grace.
I think the issue is that they overperformed a little bit last year and now they're underperforming this year.
Right.
And
So they're leveling out.
they're leveling out. I think that he gets grace until next year, and then I think if they have a poor start to next year, that's when he's probably really under pressure. But obviously the big question is not so much around their form, it's around what we saw on the weekend with the Lombard Petrarca incident.
It's the culture.
I mean, leading up to that, there's been a lot of talk that there's issues between Dimmer and some of the senior players, that Anderson and Rowell don't get along with him. We've obviously seen Ben King do a complete backflip where 2 months ago it was reported by some of the top journos that, Ben King's going to sign I think it was a 3-year deal, 2 or 3 year deal extension with Gold Coast, and now all of a sudden he's going to Hawthorn. Like, it's a guaranteed thing that he's going to request a trade to Hawthorn. So yeah, it's the question mark is around what's actually going on with the club. And I guess it's probably a good time now to talk about the Lombard Petrarca incident. So Christian Petrarca, I think it was in the 4th quarter. It was just before, there was only a few minutes to go, I think. Leo Lombard kind of cut Petrarca off to get the ball and then got tackled, lost it, gave away a free kick. And whilst he was on the ground, Petrarca just started laying into him, just screaming at him, and then kind of continued going, and then Lombard, the cameras caught him turn around and say fuck off to Petrarca. This has opened up a lot of debate. There's a lot of people questioning the culture at the Suns, but also it's opened up a lot of debate as to who was in the wrong. What's everyone's thoughts on it?
Don't all jump in at once, guys.
No, I've got a lot of thoughts, so I'm holding back to see what everyone else thinks.
I was just taking a turn, letting the room speak. I think that I don't know enough about Leo Lombard to just gauge whether this was frustration in the moment, and they can work that out later on, right? Like, he obviously made a mistake, and was then punished for that mistake. And sometimes when you make a mistake, the last thing you need is your coworker, your teammate, your, somebody who is just near you to go like, why did you do that? Like, my reaction would also be to go, fuck off. Like, give me a minute to just digest that. So is there a limit to this? Is this isolated? If it's isolated, then I think it's fine, it's funny, and move on. Like, they need to sort it out. But obviously something isn't gelling there, because that screams to me. And we were talking about it just before we started recording. Jess shared with us a link from Agenda Setters of Kane Corns talking about it, as well as I had seen a video from I've already forgotten his name again. It is, oh no, I've lost it. Davis Jarrah, who does some short form content on Instagram. He does sort of analysis of little plays and talks about team systems and stuff like that. And just talking about how it seemed like there was potentially a set play that they were trying to run for Petrarca. They created some space for him to work in, and then Lombard was like, no, I'm going to be the guy, and has gotten in Petrarca's way. So dual frustration there. So if it's isolated, it's, it's just a bad moment. And if it's not, then it's really indicative of just some of the stuff that we're already hearing. But it's really hard because we're never going to get the confirmation we need to decide whether it's one or the other.
I just don't think that Petrarca screaming at him in that moment. Lombard's only played, 20 games? He's 19. He's only played somewhere between 10 and 20 games. I don't think Petrarca screaming at him in that moment is going to help, especially when we know that, like, during the week, the players have to sit there as a team with the coaches and review the game. They're going to go through it. Like, I just feel like the more effective thing for such a young player would have been to pull him aside off the field after the game, show him the vision and say, hey, mate, this is where things went wrong. I just don't think the screaming at him in the moment is, when cameras are all pointing at him, is going to...
The main thing is that it was caught on camera. It was such a... he was right there, and it wasn't just like fuck off. Like, he looked angry. That was an angry face. It wasn't a fuck off, like, let me do my thing. That was an angry fuck off. And yeah, I think, this, you're on TVs around the world, right?
Yeah.
You're not just on a country club, on a country oval somewhere. Yeah.
It was interesting hearing Nathan Brown's perspective. Like, it's always interesting hearing players who, like former players who've been in similar situations. And Nathan Brown said that at one point, I think it was when he was at Richmond, he gave a spray to a first gamer on the ground. The guy was in his first game, stuffed something up. Nathan Brown just absolutely got into him. And he said that years later, that guy still referenced it and said that it stuck with him, like how it made him feel in the moment. And Nathan Brown said that he's felt like shit ever since, basically. Like, he's felt guilty ever since. And he's like, I think if Petrarca had thought of that in the moment, then he probably would have had his time again. He wouldn't have done it the same way.
I think it's indicative of some deeper issues at Gold Coast. And I think they probably need to do a bit of a Melbourne and just clear everyone out. There's obviously a lot going on. There's not, like, they're not happy with Dimmer. You can't have a successful team where nobody's listening and respecting each other. Like, clearly something is not working. You can see that it's so fraught with tension and stuff when they play. They're just not on the same page. And this is like just a flash, I think, for us watching. You probably see a lot more of that at training. There's probably a lot more, not just with Petrarca or whatever, but like there's too many people trying to do their own shit. They're not working as a team. They're not on the same page. Like, this should be textbook stuff. They're running drills in the week. They know exactly how the plays are going to work. And you've got too many people sticking their neck out being like, well, this is Petrarca's play. Like, we need to leave space for him. And then Leo going, fuck that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. And that's obviously wound him up. Like, I agree. I don't think he should have sprayed him like that in front of everyone. I don't think that that's good sportsmanship. I don't think that shows people watching, like, how you should be handling situations like that. It would be more conducive to do it off field. But I also think Lombard telling Petrarca to fuck off on telly as well is not okay either. Like, he should be one of the leaders at the club. And I don't think you'd see anyone speak to Max Gawn like that. Or there's other players at other clubs.
We did one time, and he no longer plays for the club.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you just don't have that. That's not an acceptable way to treat your leaders in the club. And it, like, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg for Gold Coast, and they probably just need a proper clean out. Bring in everyone, reset the culture, because it's so difficult to backtrack, I think, when shit's gone this far down the track. You're not going to be able to just have a team building week and everything's rosy and we're all running like clockwork again. Like, it's too far gone, and you can see it in the results on the pitch. Like, it's all just too obvious now.
It's really hard because I don't want to say it's entirely Dimmer, but I do feel like this is what, year 3 of Dimmer?
Yeah, I think so.
And how long's left on his contract? A year? 2 years?
Honestly, don't know.
God, good question.
He might have signed an
Couple of days,
extension last
maybe.
year because they performed well last year.
Yeah, I mean, I could use my my big machine to look it up, but I'm not going to. So I always have thought that it was a bit of a culture shock to go from Stuart Dew, who was kind of like, yes, he had his moments where, like, there's the, show a bit of fucking fight moment and stuff like that. But generally, he was kind of a bit of like a big bear dad vibe. Like, a bit of a softer approach, more mentoring, and that kind of thing. And not to say that Dimmer's doing it, but Dimmer does strike me as a little bit more of a salt of the earth, like old school football kind of, the best way to learn is by doing and fucking up and, and going through that. I don't understand. I'm kind of with Cass on it, where I don't understand, because there've been 2 years of that now. So the guys that have already been there should have kind of worked through that shift. And then they've obviously brought in the new talent who, what piece is missing? And by clearing out the club, to your point, Jess, is that really going to fix anything?
Yeah.
Because, it's
a rebuild. It has to be.
I declare rebuild.
I'm declaring it right now. Dimmer, you don't get a choice.
I
You're
think
gone.
rebuild would be the worst thing that they can do for Queens, like for the Suns as a football organization, because they're so close now and they've spent years of just being bottom feeders. Like, this is the closest they have been, but they're obviously, if they lose the amount of talent that they end up, is being reported that they'll lose, they might have no other option, which
it looks like they just need to bring back they're not having fun. They need to bring back some fun.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think that's where, for me, I'm looking and thinking, you don't feel comfortable with each other to be having that fun. Like, there's something innately wrong in the relationships between the team members and clearly the coach, if they're all wanting to leave and stuff. Because realistically, I know football's not like a standard job, but like, if you work with people who you love or who bring out like the best in you, you don't want to go anywhere else. Even if the club was doing shit, you'd still be like, yeah, but I feel like I'm really like getting mentored in the best way and I'm becoming the best version of myself. It's really good for my development. I'm going to stick it out. And everyone's going, fuck this. I don't want to be here.
Well,
so something's happening.
Very genuinely, they played the team that is the exact inverse of what we're talking about. And we'll move on in a moment, but I do want to just give Carlton some flowers, because they have built they have created a team. They've lost Voss. I can't understand how they surely have to be doing everything they possibly can to, at the very least, keep Fraser on staff, or
because he was an assistant before, right?
He was an assistant before, but
and it just sounds like he's like happy to do that. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but they surely must be doing everything they possibly can to give him his chocolates and give him his flowers, because he's
No, the chocolates are Dwayne Russell's. So sorry, you can't have those.
Yeah, that's where he gets them from. But they built a team now that feels very resilient to go on these winning streaks, to then suffer losses and then to come back stronger. Like, it's, this was a great performance for Jagger Smith, 30 disposals, Patrick Cripps, 30 and a goal, Sam Walsh, 31 disposals and 400 meters gained. Like, it's like they've got all these guys.
We talked about it a few weeks ago. They're a team who's having fun, with the harmonica in the circle. They've got their little ambassadors each week where they do something fun. It's It's
Yeah.
fun. It's yes,
vibes.
Yeah.
Big shout out to
Good vibe
Taylor
football.
Byrne, new draftee, 3 goals, 2 behinds, and 17 disposals. Absolutely had the game of his life. He's the fellow who
Fuck
missed
yeah.
that kick after the siren earlier this
Oh
year.
yeah.
Oh, good for him. I
yeah.
love that.
He
Can
had
we
a
adopt him
ripping
instead?
game. This is so.
He's also born in 2006, I think.
Yeah.
Josh Dolan, how do you feel about having a sibling? I know it's quite soon, but you guys can keep each other busy.
Oh my God, you guys. Okay, he's actually born a year later, 2007, but their birthdays are 3 days apart.
Okay.
So
Meant to
what's
be.
that,
It
Irish
was meant to
twins? What
be.
is it?
I got adopted by a podcast. The same thing. Chris, I know that you don't revel in Carlton's success, but I think that this is like we're seeing two sides of the coin here, right? And Gold Coast need to find a way to beat Carlton. And I hate that I'm saying that, but that's the reality of it. They need
Well,
to find a way to build.
You know
that
what
resilience.
happened at Carlton before it all changed. Dimmer, your days are numbered.
So we'll finish this off by talking about Ty Gallop. I think that I want to cover that off. Holy shit, he's been sent straight to the tribunal for throwing a guy for bouncing a guy into the ground who was already on the ground. This is one of the dumbest things I've seen in football since the last homophobic slur.
It was just so unnecessary.
It was
the thing that
so
got me.
unnecessary.
It's the
ball
it's the
was
second
gone.
effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually in football, you like to see a second effort, but not when you're throwing someone on the ground. You don't then pick them up and then throw them back down again. You dum-dum.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's been sent straight to the tribunal. I'd be surprised if it was anything less than 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of chatter about this. Everyone basically hates Ty Gallop now. People are calling for 5 weeks because, I mean, if you look at the force that he threw Georgiades into the ground with, if Georgiades gets a concussion from that, like, you're probably looking at 6 or 7. Like, he's just lucky that there was nothing that came out of it. So, minimum 3, but potentially 4.
Yeah, I think it would be a really good moment for the AFL to really cut this shit out, punish it, make it severe. There is no place for this because, like you say, it could be serious next time. Like someone else does that, they really hurt someone. It's fucking unnecessary. There's enough potential to accidentally hurt somebody when you're genuinely trying to do the right thing. Don't be doing that to people.
Jess made the point to me earlier this week, which was this is kind of one of those byproducts though as well. I think of when we create football cultures that encourage you to be the tough guy, aka the Braden Maynard theory, which is Braden Maynard has done a few this. Once again, I'm not specifically questioning his character outside of football, but inside the football pitch, right? They literally treat him like he's an attack dog. And he's put on a pedestal for being a guy who goes in to have punch-ons for his teammates and pulls off rough tackles and ends guys' careers. It's weird to we shouldn't be pedestaling this kind of behavior because these are the kinds of things that happen because Ty Gallop has gone out there and the moment's got the best of him and he wants to look like a tough guy. He's got tackled Georgiades to the ground and he's like, oh, I better show him who's the guy now. And shake him what?
No, it's dumb.
It's dumb behavior. So yeah, I agree with Jess. This is the moment where the AFL needs to go hey, we don't do this.
Yeah, we actually don't tolerate this bullshit. We don't think it's clever or brave that you've gone out there and taken someone off the ball and tried to swing your dick around. It's enough. It doesn't need to be happening. We need to start undoing that Braden Maynard effect of being oh, he's so tough. Oh, I'm so happy to have him on my team. Look at him. He's such a big man. No, he's not.
Speaking of enough, I think that's where the Falcon ends for this week. Thank you so much for listening, you beautiful, beautiful listener. As always, you can find us on Instagram and X at Falcon Footy Pod. You can also head to your little podcast platform of choice and leave us a rating and review. 5 stars is what we deserve, and I ask for nothing less. You can also jump in the comments on Spotify and spend time with our number 1 favorite listener, Grace, Cass's mum. Who any updates from any notes from Grace recently, Cass?
Oh, any notes? Oh, usually she gives me notes.
okay,
Haven't had
well,
anything lately.
She's actually still got homework outstanding.
Oh,
so.
yeah,
Outstanding.
she
That's why
was-
she's gone quiet.
She was so glad I didn't mention it. We didn't mention it last week because she had a really busy weekend the weekend before and couldn't get to the markets to try the cannoli. And I was like, it's fine, nobody mentioned it. She's like, oh, thank God, don't bring it up again. So
Yeah,
she hasn't
don't
done her
really.
homework.
Unfortunately, your goal of eating and providing us with a review of the purple Fremantle cannoli is still
It's
outstanding.
outstanding. Hmm.
Individually, you can find us. Jess, where can people find you?
At Swanky Jess with 2 eyes.
Christopherson
Lowry_16.
and Cass.
You can follow me at Casbag.
And you can follow me Falcon Footy Pod because I don't really use my personal one anymore. I'm trying to use social media a little bit less. So now I'm just going to try and post memes from the Falcon page. Cass and I share custody of the Twitter page.
See if you can guess who posts what.
Yeah, figure it out. It's pretty self-explanatory. But until next week, listeners, make sure you tell your friends to listen to us, and goodbye for now, and not forever. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye. The entire team at the Falcon Footy Pod would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and record this podcast. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders and ancestors, and thank them for their continued connection and contribution to this country's national game.